Well, Koberger is in jail in Idaho, awaiting his next court appearance, which will be in June. Tonight, new insight into how close he came.
Xana Kernodle, her boyfriend Ethan Chapin, Madison Mogen, and Kaylee Gonzalez. Families and friends still await.
To the Idaho student murders, the suspect appeared in a new courtroom and before a new judge on Thursday. Lawyers for the defense are fighting to take the death penalty off the table.
Today, we explore the tragic story of the University of Idaho murders, where 4 young lives were taken in a shocking act of violence. We'll examine the timeline of events, the victims' backgrounds, and the ongoing investigation that has captivated the nation. Join us as we uncover the details behind this heart-wrenching case and its impact on the community. Introduction to the case. The case of Bryan Kohberger has captivated public and media attention due to its chilling and tragic nature. On November 13, 2022, 4 University of Idaho students, Kaylee Gonzalez, Madison Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin, were brutally murdered in their off-campus home. Their shocking death sent ripples through the college community and the nation, raising urgent questions about safety, security, and the motivations behind such senseless violence. The students, who were well-liked and had promising futures, were suddenly taken from their friends and families, leaving a profound sense of loss and disbelief. As the investigation unfolded, the close-knit community in Moscow, Idaho, grappled with fear and uncertainty. Local residents struggled to comprehend how such a horrific crime could occur in their town. In response, authorities launched a multifaceted investigation, examining evidence, interviewing witnesses, and following leads. The investigation eventually uncovered disturbing details about Kohberger, a criminology graduate student who had a deep interest in criminal behavior. This revelation raised many questions about his potential motivations and the circumstances leading to the tragic events, prompting further scrutiny and speculation from the public and media alike. Background of Bryan Kohberger. Bryan Kohberger, a 28-year-old graduate student in criminology, was studying at Washington State University when the tragic murders occurred on November 13, 2022. Originally from Pennsylvania, Kohberger has a solid background in criminal justice and behavioral psychology, which informed his academic pursuits. His interests in the intricacies of the criminal mind and behavior placed him in a unique position to understand the factors influencing criminal actions. However, this same background sparked considerable scrutiny once he became a suspect in the Idaho murders. As investigators dug deeper, they examined Kohberger's life prior to the incidents, revealing a complex individual who had been immersed in the study of crime. His academic career included research on criminal behavior, specifically focusing on the motivations behind individuals committing violent acts. This knowledge raised questions about his potential motivations for the alleged crimes and how his education may have influenced his actions. Kohberger's interactions with peers and professors are now under review, as people seek to understand the circumstances leading up to the tragic events. Friends and family have expressed shock at the allegations, stating that they could not envision him as capable of such violence. The investigation continues to explore the psychological and environmental factors that may have contributed to his actions. This inquiry is critical, not only to the legal proceedings against him, but also to the broader understanding of how individuals like Kohberger might spiral into violence. His case remains a chilling reminder of how the line between academic study and real-life actions can sometimes blur, leading to devastating consequences for communities, victims, and background. The 4 victims of this heinous crime were not just students, they were vibrant young individuals full of life, dreams, and aspirations. Kaylee Gonzalez and Madison Mogen were lifelong friends and roommates, well known for their infectious laughter and adventurous spirits. They often spent their time together, creating lasting memories that reflected their close bond. Xana Kernodle was another spirited student, recognized for her artistic flair and enthusiasm for life. She cherished her close relationship with her boyfriend, Ethan Chapin, who was also a victim of this tragic event. Ethan was celebrated for his athleticism and commitment to his studies, embodying the promise of a bright future. Each victim contributed unique qualities to their friendships and community, leaving behind devastated friends and family. Their untimely deaths emphasize the tragedy of violence against young adults and the significant emotional toll on those who loved them. As the community mourned, the search for justice intensified, highlighting the urgent need for safety and support in environments where young people gather. The night of the death. On the night of November 12, 2022, 4 University of Idaho students, Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin, enjoyed an evening out at a local bar. They returned home in the early hours, blissfully unaware of the impending tragedy. At approximately 2 a.m. on November 13th, a 911 call reporting an unconscious individual sent police to their residence, where they made the horrifying discovery of all 4 students murdered. The local law enforcement quickly initiated an extensive investigation, diligently collecting evidence and interviewing witnesses. As days turned into weeks with little progress, the community became increasingly anxious and fearful. The lack of information only heightened the urgency for answers regarding the brutal crime. A major breakthrough occurred on December 30th, 2022, when Brian Koberger, a criminology graduate student, was arrested in Pennsylvania. Authorities linked him to the murders through DNA and forensic evidence gathered from the crime scene. Koberger's arrest was a pivotal moment in the investigation, as his background in criminology sparked questions about his potential motives and how someone with such knowledge could allegedly commit such a horrific act. With Koberger in custody, the community finally began to feel a sense of relief. While the investigation continued, the arrest brought hope for justice for the victims and their families. The case garnered national attention, highlighting the need for safety and support within college communities. As more details emerged, the focus shifted to the legal proceedings ahead, with the community united in seeking answers and justice for the 4 young lives tragically cut short. Arrest and investigation. Brian Koberger was apprehended in Pennsylvania after a meticulous investigation that spanned several weeks. The authorities utilized a combination of DNA evidence, surveillance footage, and witness statements to build a strong case against him. The DNA evidence collected from the crime scene played a crucial role, linking Koberger to the brutal murders of the 4 University of Idaho students. Surveillance footage from the area surrounding the victim's home provided vital clues, allowing investigators to trace his movements during the time of the murders. Additionally, witness statements helped law enforcement piece together a clearer picture of the events leading up to that tragic night. The dedication of law enforcement officers to solving this case exemplifies the rigorous methods employed in high-profile investigations. Their thorough approach not only showcases the effectiveness of modern investigative techniques, but also underscores the importance of collaborative efforts among different law enforcement agencies. The successful apprehension of Koberger highlights how vital comprehensive police work is in seeking justice for victims and their families, providing a sense of closure to a grieving community longing for answers. Charges against Koberger. Brian Koberger faces 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of burglary in connection with the tragic deaths of the 4 University of Idaho students. These serious charges reflect the gravity of the crime and highlight the significant legal implications he may face if convicted. First-degree murder is classified as a premeditated and intentional act of killing, which typically carries the harshest penalties under the law, including the possibility of life imprisonment or even the death penalty, depending on the jurisdiction and specific circumstances of the case. The severity of the charges indicates that law enforcement and prosecutors believe they have substantial evidence to support their claims against Koberger. The presence of DNA evidence, along with other investigative findings, suggests a thorough and methodical approach to building a case. Additionally, the burglary charge implies that he unlawfully entered the victim's home with the intent to commit a crime, further complicating the legal landscape. As Koberger navigates the legal process, he faces a significant uphill battle. The prosecution will work to present a strong case, while Koberger's defense team will aim to challenge the evidence and argue for his innocence. The outcome of this case not only affects Koberger's future, but also has far-reaching implications for the families of the victims and the community of Moscow, Idaho. The community, which has been deeply shaken by the events, is eager for justice and closure. As the trial progresses, many will be watching closely, hoping for answers and a resolution to this tragic case that has left a lasting impact on their lives. Court proceedings and trial updates. The trial of Bryan Koberger has attracted substantial media attention, captivating audiences both locally and nationally. This heightened interest stems from the tragic nature of the case, as well as the serious charges he faces, including 4 counts of first-degree murder. News outlets have closely monitored Koberger's plea and courtroom proceedings, providing regular updates that offer insights into the complexities of the legal process. These updates have highlighted various aspects of the trial, including the strategies employed by both the prosecution and the defense, the evidence presented, and the testimonies from witnesses. As the trial unfolds, reporters and analysts delve into the intricacies of criminal law, educating the public about the judicial system's workings. This coverage not only keeps the community informed, but also fosters discussions about broader issues such as public safety, mental health, and the challenges law enforcement faces in preventing violent crimes. The media attention reflects the public's desire for transparency and understanding in a case that has deeply impacted the community of Moscow, Idaho. The outcome of the trial is anticipated to have far-reaching implications, not only for Koberger but also for the families of the victims and the community as a whole. A conviction could provide a sense of justice and closure to those affected by the tragedy, while an acquittal may leave many with lingering questions and concerns about safety. The emotional stakes are high, as the trial symbolizes a quest for answers and accountability in the face of unimaginable loss. As the proceedings continue, all eyes remain on the courtroom, underscoring the trial's significance in shaping perceptions of justice and community healing. Media coverage and public reaction. The extensive media coverage of this case has had a significant impact on how the public perceives it, sparking a wide range of discussions about crime, safety, and justice. News outlets, social media platforms, and television programs have continuously covered the details, ensuring that the case remains in the public eye. This constant attention has led to heightened concerns about the safety of communities, particularly in relation to violent crimes, and how justice is served in high-profile cases. In addition, the media's portrayal of the individuals involved has played a role in shaping opinions. Whether focusing on the victim's life, the suspect's background, or the legal proceedings, the public has formed strong views based on the narratives provided by the media. These portrayals can influence perceptions of guilt or innocence, often before a formal verdict is even reached. This influence has brought about conversations on the importance of fair trials and unbiased reporting. Another key aspect of the media's role in this case is the ongoing debate about mental health. Reports often touch on the mental state of the individuals involved, which has led to wider discussions about mental health awareness, its role in crime, and the availability of mental health support. This conversation is crucial, as it highlights the intersection between crime and mental health, and challenges society to consider the role mental health plays in violent incidents. Ultimately, the media's coverage has shaped the public's understanding and raised important questions about how these cases should be handled, both in the courtroom and in the media, to ensure justice and public safety. Thank you for joining us to explore the tragic case of the University of Idaho murders. This story underscores the importance of community safety and the ongoing search for justice for the victims. Welcome to Deep Crime Unveiled. Today we're going to talk about the tragic story of Polly Klaas, a case that touched the hearts of many in America. Picture a bright 12-year-old girl, full of dreams, suddenly taken from her home. Polly's abduction in 1993 changed her family's life forever and sparked important discussions about keeping children safe. In this video, we'll share her story, the shocking events of her kidnapping, the huge search effort that followed, and the important laws that were changed because of this tragedy. Join us as we remember Polly and see how her legacy is helping to protect children today. You won't want to miss this. The life and background of Polly Klaas. Polly Klaas was a vibrant 12-year-old girl from the peaceful town of Petaluma, California. Known for her kind heart and gentle nature, Polly was the type of person whose smile could light up a room. A 7th-grade student at Petaluma Junior High, she was an active and happy child who loved spending time with her friends, playing sports, and participating in her local community. Polly had a passion for art and theater, and she often dreamed of becoming an actress, sharing her creativity and talent with the world. She was at a beautiful stage in her life, where she was just beginning to explore and develop her interests and abilities. Polly's family was at the center of her life, and she shared a special bond with her mother, Eve Klaas. Her community was small and tight-knit, where everyone knew each other, and Polly was well-loved by all. Her outgoing personality and genuine friendliness made her a joy to be around, and she brought happiness to those who knew her. But on the night of October 1st, 1993, Polly's life took a devastating turn. Hosting a slumber party for a few of her closest friends, what should have been a fun and carefree evening turned into a night of horror, forever changing her family, her town, and eventually the entire nation. The night of Polly Klaas's hijacking. On the evening of October 1st, 1993, commodity veritably sad happened. Polly Klaas, along with her 2 musketeers, was having a fun sleepover at her house in Petal, California. The girls were really enjoying themselves playing games, participating in funny stories, and laughing a lot. It was just what you'd anticipate from 3 12-time pasts having a great. As the night went on and it got late, they snuggled into their resting bags in Polly's warm room. They did not know that their lives were about to change in a big way. Also, around 10:30 p.m., a man named Richard Allen Davis entered the Klaas home. He was not known to Polly or her family and had a cutter with him. That was intimidating. He snappily tied up Polly's musketeers and put commodities in their mouths to keep them quiet. They felt helpless and spooked as he seized Polly and took her down. The girls were confused and shocked. But ultimately, they managed to free themselves and call for help solely. It was too late. The agony had formerly begun. In just many moments, Polly's family and original police were advised. A huge hunt began nearly right down. Everybody wanted to find her. But in those pivotal first twinkles, Polly was formerly gone, taken into the night by a man who had done terrible effects before. The Klaas family set themselves up in an awful situation as their peaceful city of Petaluma watched the tragedy unfold. Soon enough, the whole country participated in their worries and sadness over what happened to Polly. The search that brought everyone together. The disappearance of Polly Klaas led to one of the biggest search efforts in U.S. history. Almost right away, local police, FBI agents, and volunteers from the community came together to look for her. The town of Petaluma was filled with posters of Polly's smiling face, and the media quickly turned the story into national news. Polly's abduction struck a chord with families across the country, and soon, people from all over the U.S. joined in the search. Search teams combed through fields, forests, and rural areas around Petaluma, hoping to find any clue about where Polly might be. The Klaas family held on to hope, making emotional appeals to the public through interviews and press conferences, asking for help in finding their daughter. The community's support was incredible. Thousands of volunteers, many of whom had never met Polly, worked hard to bring her home. As days turned into weeks, the search continued, with law enforcement following every possible lead. Tips came in from across the country, and many theories emerged about who might have taken Polly and where she could be. But despite the huge effort, Polly remained missing, and the uncertainty weighed heavily on her family and the town. As time passed, the fear of not finding her alive grew stronger, and the nation's heart ached for Polly and her loved ones. United in hope, yet feeling the heavy burden of worry. The arrest of Richard Allen. On November 30th, 1993, after nearly 2 months of searching, there was a major break in the case. Authorities entered a tip that led them to Richard Allen Davis, a 39-time-old man with an expansive felonious history, including persuasions for burglary, assault, and hijacking. Davis had been arrested on unconnected charges shortly after Polly's hijacking, but it was not until this tip came in, those investigators began to erect together his connection to the crime. Davis was arrested and interrogated by law enforcement. After hours of questioning, Davis confessed to hijacking Polly Klaas. Still, his concession came with horrifying details. He admitted that Polly had been killed soon after he kidnapped her. Davis led authorities to a pastoral area in Cloverdale, California, where he'd buried Polly's body. The arrest of Davis marked a turning point in the case, but it was a bitter palm for Polly's family and the community. The stopgap that Polly would be set up alive was shattered, and the news of her murder transferred shockwaves through the country. People were outraged not only by the brutality of the crime, but also by the fact that Davis, a reprised lawbreaker, had been free to commit such a heinous act. Numerous questioned how someone with his felonious background had been released from captivity, sparking a public debate about the felonious justice system. The discovery of Polly Klaas' body. On December 4, 1993, Richard Allen Davis led police to where he had buried Polly's body. Her remains were found in a shallow grave in a remote area of Cloverdale, about 40 miles from Petaluma. This discovery confirmed the worst fears of Polly's family and the community. It was a heartbreaking moment for everyone who had hoped she would return safely, a moment that shattered their dreams. The news of Polly's death was devastating, but it also brought some closure to the long and painful search. The Klaas family, while filled with grief, finally had answers about what happened to their beloved daughter. The town of Petaluma, which had supported the Klaas family for months, mourned alongside them, sharing in their sorrow. People across the nation were also heartbroken over the loss of such a young and innocent life. Polly's murder was not just a tragedy for her family. It became a national tragedy that highlighted how vulnerable children are to violent crime. Finding her body marked the end of one painful chapter in the case, but also the start of a new one, as the legal process to bring Davis to justice began. The community and the nation, still in shock, faced the difficult task of seeking justice for Polly and ensuring her story would not be forgotten, raising awareness about child safety and the need for better protection for children everywhere. The court case against Richard Davis. 3 times after Polly was killed and her kidnapping passed, Richard Allen Davis's trial got underway in 1996. It snappily gained wide media attention and became one of the most nearly watched lawless trials of the decade. Polly's family, determined to seek justice for their cherished son, attended every day of the proceedings, hoping to find some check amid their inviting grief. Throughout the trial, Davis displayed no guilt for his conduct. He indeed teased Polly's family at times, making cruel and inhuman reflections that only strengthened their pain. This shocking behavior left multitudinous in the courtroom floored and underscored the brutality of his crime. The prosecution presented a strong case against Davis, including his own concession and physical validation that linked him directly to Polly's kidnapping and murder. They painted a pictorial picture of the events that had led to that woeful night, making it clear that Davis was responsible. After lower than 10 hours of deliberation, the jury set up Richard Allen Davis, shamefaced of first-degree murder, kidnapping, and several other serious charges. When the verdict was announced, he was doomed to death. This decision brought a sense of relief and a measure of justice to Polly's family and the multitudinous backers who had followed the case nearly. Still, while the verdict was a moment of win for some, it also raised serious questions about the lawless justice system and how it dealt with duplication malefactors like Davis. Multitudinous people believed that if the justice system had worked properly, Davis would not have been free to commit such a terrible crime. This case stressed significant excrescencies in how dangerous individuals were covered and kept off the expressways. As a result, the trial sparked important exchanges about the need for reforms in the justice system, emphasizing the necessity of better guarding children and icing that those with a history of violent behavior faced applicable consequences. The case not only affected Polly's family, but also resounded with families across the country, igniting a movement for change and lower awareness about child safety and crime prevention. The legacy changes in the law. After the case, following Polly Klaas's murder, her case led to significant legal reforms, particularly in California. The Three Strikes statute, which was passed in 1994, was one significant result. Those found guilty of 3 or more major offenses were compelled by this law to serve life sentences. The goal was to keep repeat offenders, like Richard Allen Davis, from being released back into society and committing more violent acts. While many saw the Three Strikes law as a win for victims' rights, it also led to a lot of debate. Critics argued that the law was too harsh and could unfairly punish people for non-violent crimes, sometimes giving them life sentences for minor offenses. This debate raised questions about how to balance public safety with fair treatment in the justice system. Still, the law became a symbol of the country's determination to protect children and vulnerable people from dangerous criminals. In addition to these legal changes, Polly's family started the Polly Klaas Foundation to promote child safety and prevent abductions. The foundation works hard to raise awareness about child abduction and provides helpful resources for families and law enforcement. Through educational programs and community outreach, they aim to empower parents and children with knowledge to keep them safe. Polly's legacy lives on through the foundation's efforts, as they strive to create a safer world for children and ensure that no family must go through the same heartache the Klaas family experienced. By turning their tragedy into action, the Klaas family honors Polly's memory and works to protect future generations. The impact of child safety laws. The terrible Polly Klaas case had a significant influence on American child protection regulations, especially those in California. Polly's abduction and murder brought national attention to the vulnerabilities children face and underscored the urgent need for stronger protections. In response to this heartbreaking event, lawmakers implemented significant reforms aimed at preventing similar tragedies in the future. The Three Strikes Law, which was passed in 1994, was one of the most significant developments. This law mandated life sentences for individuals convicted of 3 serious crimes, especially violent offenses against children. The aim was clear: to keep repeat offenders, like Polly's kidnapper, from being released and causing further harm. Polly's case also sparked improvements in community safety measures. Many communities came together to advocate for better monitoring of sex offenders, ensuring that those who had committed crimes against children were kept under close watch. Law enforcement agencies enhanced their response protocols for missing children, allowing them to act quickly in cases of potential abduction. Furthermore, Polly's story raised awareness about child safety, leading to educational programs that equipped parents and children with the knowledge to recognize and avoid dangerous situations. Organizations focused on preventing child abduction and promoting safety practices in schools and neighborhoods emerged, making a significant difference in community awareness. As a result of these changes, child protection laws became much stronger. The reforms inspired by Polly's case reflect a broader commitment to safeguarding children. Today, her legacy continues through ongoing advocacy for children's rights and safety, reminding everyone of the importance of community involvement and vigilance in protecting the most vulnerable members of society. Polly Klaas's legacy. Ongoing efforts for change. Polly Klaas's legacy continues to inspire important efforts to keep children safe. After her tragic abduction and murder, her family and supporters worked hard to raise awareness about the dangers that children face and the need for stronger laws. They started the Polly Klaas Foundation, which focuses on preventing child abductions and promoting safety in communities. The foundation provides helpful resources for families and teaches children about personal safety, empowering them to recognize and avoid potential dangers. In addition to education, the foundation pushes for legal changes that make child protection stronger. This includes better monitoring of sex offenders and faster responses from law enforcement when a child goes missing. As a result of these efforts, laws and community practices have improved, making it harder for dangerous people to harm children. Polly's story reminds us how important it is to stay alert and get involved in protecting kids. Her legacy inspires many people to come together to create a safer environment for all children. By honoring Polly's memory through these efforts, we can work towards a future where every child is safe and protected. Thanks for watching Deep Crime Unveiled. Polly Klaas's story shows us why protecting our children is so vital. Her legacy continues to inspire us to act and ensure kids are safe.
New developments in a case making global headlines for more than 15 years now. Authorities in Portugal tonight say they are resuming the search for Madeleine McCann.
Significant development in the 17-year-long Madeleine McCann case.
Maybe the biggest missing persons story in the world has been the disappearance of Madeleine McCann.
Words cannot describe the anguish and despair that we are feeling as the parents of our beautiful daughter.
We're exploring the mysterious case of Madeleine McCann today. She vanished on May 3, 2007, while on vacation in Praia da Luz, Portugal, with her family. At just 3 years old, Madeleine vanished from her bed, sparking a study that has fascinated people worldwide for more than 17 years. This tragic case highlights crucial issues of child safety and the complexities of missing person investigations. As we examine the details of her disappearance and recent developments involving suspect Christian Bruckner, we'll discuss why this case continues to resonate with so many. Join us as we seek to understand the lessons learned from this mystery and advocate for a safer world for children everywhere. Background of the Maddie confession. The disappearance of Madeleine McCann in May 2007 has drawn intense scrutiny over the years, particularly concerning Christian Bruckner, a German national and convicted sex offender linked to her case. In 2020, German authorities named Bruckner as the prime suspect, believing that Madeleine was likely deceased and that he was responsible for her abduction. This renewed interest escalated in 2024 when Laurentius Coden, Bruckner's former cellmate, claimed that Bruckner confessed to him about abducting a young girl from a holiday apartment in Portugal. Coden alleged that Bruckner had initially intended to commit theft, but ended up taking the child instead. Furthermore, Bruckner reportedly inquired about DNA evidence from bones buried underground, suggesting a more sinister outcome for Madeleine. While Bruckner denies any involvement, Coden's claims have intensified investigations and public speculation, underscoring the enduring quest for answers and justice in this haunting case. The disappearance on May 3, 2007. In the evening, Madeleine McCann was on vacation with her family on May 3, 2007, in the lovely Portuguese resort town of Praia da Luz. She was just 3 years old and was staying in an apartment with her parents, Kate and Jerry McCann, and her younger siblings. While the McCanns enjoyed dinner with friends at a nearby tapas restaurant, they made the decision to leave the children asleep in the ground floor apartment. They checked on the kids periodically throughout the evening to ensure their safety. But when Kate McCann went to check on them at around 10 o'clock at night, she found Madeleine missing. The bedroom window was discovered to be open, and Madeleine disappeared from her bed in an instant. A frantic search was launched immediately. involving local authorities and neighbors who scoured the area in hopes of finding the little girl. Despite these quick efforts, no trace of Madeleine was found, leading to a case that would captivate not just the local community, but the entire world. The initial investigation and theories. In the days that followed Madeleine's disappearance, Portuguese police initiated a full-scale investigation to determine what had happened to her. However, they faced criticism for their slow progress and procedural errors, which complicated the case. Initially, the investigation began as a missing child report, but soon, the possibility of abduction came to the forefront. Both local police and British authorities considered various explanations, ranging from a break-in that went wrong to the possibility of a planned abduction by a child trafficking ring. Suspicion soon fell on Madeleine's parents, Kate and Jerry McCann, primarily due to inconsistencies in their statements and the lack of any physical evidence pointing to an intruder. In September 2007, full attention and the role of the media. Madeleine's case quickly turned into a global phenomenon. Christian Bruckner was named the main suspect in 2020. The investigation seemed to pick up steam. Bruckner, a 47-year-old German man with a criminal history that included multiple sexual offenses, had been living in the Algarve region of Portugal at the time of Madeleine's disappearance. He was already serving a prison sentence for the 2005 rape of a woman in Praia da Luz, and was suspected of committing various sexual crimes in Portugal between 2000 and 2017. His past and proximity to the case made him a focal point for investigators. The prime suspect. The emergence of Christian Bruckner as a suspect has reignited public interest and scrutiny regarding Madeleine's case. In June 2020, German prosecutors announced that they believed Madeleine was likely dead, and that Bruckner was responsible for her abduction and murder. Despite extensive media coverage and ongoing investigations, Bruckner has yet to be formally charged with any crimes related to Madeleine's disappearance. In a surprising turn of events in 2024, Bruckner's former cellmate, Laurentius Coden, made sensational claims, alleging that Bruckner confessed to him about abducting a young child from a holiday apartment in Portugal. Coden stated that Bruckner mentioned breaking into an apartment to steal valuables, but ended up taking the child instead. He reportedly also asked whether DNA evidence could be recovered from bones buried underground, which intensified fears that Madeleine may have been killed soon after her abduction. While Bruckner, who is currently serving time for unrelated offenses, has consistently denied any involvement in the McCann case, the ongoing legal proceedings and the absence of direct physical evidence linking him to the disappearance continue to leave many questions unanswered. His name remains central to public and legal discussions surrounding the case. Ongoing efforts and lingering questions. Despite years of investigations and efforts by various authorities, no body has been found, and the ultimate fate of Madeleine McCann remains a mystery. The case continues to stir deep emotions across the globe, especially among those who have followed the search for her since the very beginning. Madeleine's parents, Kate and Jerry McCann, have remained unwavering in their belief that their daughter might still be alive throughout this ordeal. However, they have also acknowledged the grim reality that the likelihood of finding her alive diminishes with each passing year. The case raises critical questions about how international investigations are conducted, the impact faced by families of missing children. While the involvement of Christian Bruckner adds a new chapter to this complicated and heartbreaking case, it is clear that the story is far from over. Investigators and the public alike are still searching for answers, yearning for the truth about what really happened to Madeleine McCann. Until those answers are found, her case serves as a chilling reminder of how fragile and unpredictable life can be, underscoring the importance of ongoing vigilance and awareness regarding the safety of children everywhere. Welcome to our detailed examination of the case surrounding Sean Diddy Combs.
Coming up.
Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires.
Diddy's downfall.
I believe the indictment is the tip of the iceberg.
Where serious allegations have surfaced that could change the landscape of the music industry.
She references security video of the event that went public, showing Diddy hitting his then-girlfriend in a hotel hallway.
In November 2023, Diddy faced shocking accusations from his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, who claimed a history of physical, emotional, and sexual abuse throughout their relationship. As these allegations gained traction, Diddy vehemently denied them, asserting that the claims were fabricated and intended to tarnish his reputation. In this video, we will explore the timeline of events, from Cassie's bold accusations to Diddy's public denial, and delve into the details of the so-called freak-off parties that have been central to the controversy. Join us as we uncover the complex layers of this unfolding story and its implications for Diddy's legacy and the wider entertainment community. Background of Sean Diddy. Sean Combs, famously known as Diddy, has established himself as a titan in the hip-hop industry since his rise to fame in the early 1990s. He founded Bad Boy Entertainment, which propelled artists like Notorious B.I.G. and Faith Evans into the limelight, reshaping the music landscape.
Ever since November of 2023, when Cassie Ventura filed a lawsuit against rapper, businessman, and multimillionaire P. Diddy, a multitude of allegations have come out against him.
Diddy is also known for his diverse business ventures, including fashion lines, beverage brands, and film production. His charismatic personality and relentless ambition have made him a household name. However, beneath this glamorous exterior lies a complex figure whose personal life has often attracted controversy. Recent allegations threaten to tarnish his legacy. The juxtaposition of Diddy's celebrated career against the backdrop of serious accusations raises critical questions about power dynamics in the entertainment industry and the consequences of unchecked influence. As he faces these allegations, many are left pondering how this will impact his career trajectory and the future of his various enterprises. The events that unfold in this case will undoubtedly be closely watched by fans and critics alike, eager to see how the saga will play out and what it reveals about celebrity culture. Cassie Ventura's bold accusations. In November 2023, the entertainment world was shaken when Cassie Ventura, Diddy's ex-girlfriend, took the bold step of filing a lawsuit against him. Cassie's allegations are serious, claiming a long history of physical, emotional, and sexual abuse throughout their relationship. She alleges that Diddy coerced her into participating in sexual acts with other men, portraying a toxic dynamic marked by manipulation and control. Cassie's courage in coming forward highlights a broader conversation about the power imbalances in celebrity relationships, particularly in an industry where silence is often prioritized over accountability. The lawsuit not only reveals her traumatic experiences, but also sheds light on the darker sides of fame and fortune, where abuse can flourish behind closed doors. As Cassie's story unfolds in court, it emphasizes the need for victims to speak out and seek justice, challenging the societal norms that often protect powerful individuals at the expense of their victims. The implications of her allegations could extend beyond her personal narrative, potentially affecting how similar cases are approached in the future. Inside the freak-off parties, Cassie's lawsuit introduces the unsettling concept of Diddy's so-called freak-off parties, which she describes as extravagant and hedonistic events characterized by excess and debauchery. These gatherings, she claims, were not merely social occasions, but elaborate setups that fostered a culture of exploitation. Allegations suggest that drugs such as ecstasy and GHB were routinely used to disorient and control guests, creating an environment where consent became murky. The regularity of these events, purportedly held weekly, paints a disturbing picture of an underground world where power and privilege go hand in hand with predatory behavior. Cassie's insights into these parties raise questions about the broader implications of such gatherings in the entertainment industry. They point to a troubling trend where intoxication and manipulation are intertwined, allowing influential figures like Diddy to exert control over vulnerable individuals. As details of these parties emerge, the potential for more victims to come forward increases, and the public's interest in the dynamics of celebrity culture continues to grow. Drug use and control tactics. The allegations surrounding Diddy extend into the realm of drug use and manipulation tactics, further complicating the narrative presented in Cassie's lawsuit. According to her claims, Diddy was not only a host, but also a distributor of substances at these parties. The drugs mentioned, including ketamine and GHB, are known for their sedative effects, which can leave individuals incapacitated and unable to give informed consent. This troubling aspect raises serious ethical and legal concerns about the extent to which Diddy allegedly used these substances to control attendees. Cassie alleges that threats and emotional manipulation were employed to ensure compliance, fostering an atmosphere of fear and vulnerability. The implication of these tactics speaks volumes about the power dynamics at play in the entertainment industry, where those with influence may exploit their position to dominate and abuse others. As the case progresses, the investigation will likely delve deeper into the specifics of these accusations, potentially unearthing a broader pattern of behavior that could have far-reaching consequences for Diddy and others involved. Disturbing claims of blackmail. Among the most disturbing claims made in Cassie's lawsuit is the allegation that Diddy recorded the events that transpired during these parties. The idea that he retained these recordings not just for personal use, but as potential leverage against attendees, introduces a chilling element of blackmail into the narrative. Cassie contends that Diddy would threaten to release this footage to manipulate those involved, effectively creating a culture of silence through fear. This alleged behavior highlights the significant ethical issues related to consent and privacy, especially in a high-stakes environment where reputations can be destroyed with the click of a button. The power dynamic here is striking. It illustrates how individuals in positions of authority can exploit their influence to maintain control over others. As the court case unfolds, the implications of these allegations could resonate throughout the industry, prompting discussions about the accountability of powerful figures and the lengths to which they might go to protect themselves from scrutiny. The potential for further revelations about similar behavior within the industry could lead to broader implications for how celebrity culture is perceived. Court trial overview. As Cassie Ventura's case moves toward trial, all eyes are on the proceedings and the high-stakes environment surrounding this scandal. The trial will focus on the serious allegations made against Diddy, with Cassie's testimony expected to be a pivotal element in the court's examination of the claims. The case promises significant media coverage as it touches on themes of celebrity, power, and accountability in a way that resonates with a wide audience. Witness testimonies from individuals who attended the freak-off parties could provide further context and support for Cassie's allegations, shedding light on the events that transpired. Legal experts suggest that the outcome could vary widely, ranging from a dismissal of the charges to potential criminal repercussions for Diddy if the evidence proves compelling. The public is keenly interested in how this case will unfold, as it represents not just a personal battle for Cassie, but also a broader commentary on the dynamics of power and abuse within the entertainment industry. The trial could set important precedents for how similar cases are handled in the future. Celebrity reactions and fallout.
For the last 2 weeks, Sean Diddy Combs has been getting used to living in a new home, a New York jail cell. The billionaire US rapper is now awaiting trial, accused of serious sex trafficking and racketeering crimes.
The allegations against Diddy have sparked a flurry of reactions from fellow celebrities and industry insiders, highlighting the ripple effect of this scandal throughout the entertainment community. Notably, rapper 50 Cent has publicly distanced himself from Diddy, expressing concern about the environment at Diddy's parties and sharing his disdain for the alleged activities. He has even initiated a documentary project aimed at exploring the accusations surrounding Diddy, signifying a serious commitment to addressing these troubling issues. Meanwhile, Usher, who has a history with Diddy, has hinted at having witnessed curious things during his time in Diddy's circle. His ambiguous remarks have left fans wondering about the extent of his knowledge regarding the alleged misconduct. These reactions not only reveal the personal stakes for those involved, but also emphasize the broader implications for celebrity culture. As more voices join the conversation, the pressure mounts on the industry to confront these issues openly. The fallout from this scandal could lead to a reevaluation of how power dynamics function in Hollywood, potentially prompting a cultural shift toward greater accountability for those in positions of influence. The impact on Diddy's legacy.
You know, I feel that you're someone that's not only concerned with what's happening right now, but with your legacy as well. What is the legacy that you're looking to leave behind?
That I changed the world and I have fun doing it.
The ongoing allegations against Diddy could have profound implications for his career and legacy in the music industry. As investigations continue, the potential fallout from Cassie's lawsuit may reshape how he is perceived by fans, colleagues, and the industry at large.
The allegations were revealed today by attorneys representing more than 100 alleged victims who are preparing to sue.
If the allegations prove true, they could irreparably damage Diddy's reputation, overshadowing his achievements and contributions to music and culture. The conversations surrounding his case may also prompt broader discussions about the accountability of powerful figures in entertainment and the systemic issues that allow such behavior to persist. Diddy's influence has been felt for decades, but this scandal raises critical questions about the ethics of celebrity culture and the need for change. As more details emerge and the trial progresses, the music industry will be watching closely, and the outcome could serve as a turning point in how similar allegations are handled in the future. The stakes are high, not just for Diddy, but for countless individuals affected by similar power dynamics within the industry. Thank you for watching our exploration of Sean Diddy Combs and the serious allegations against him. The potential fallout from this case could significantly impact his career and the music industry. It highlights the crucial need for accountability in entertainment. We want to hear your thoughts in the comments below.